So welcome everybody to our Sunday night training on April the 14th. It's always so good to get together to just kind of bring us back to the first of the week to get ready for a full week ahead of us. We have an amazing new incentive that's been released. So check your emails. It's about getting double incentive back on your welcome packs. I'm not going to go into too much detail because I really have not researched it too much, but go check your emails and I'll put something on the team page tomorrow also. And then we also have our meeting for our opportunity meeting tomorrow night at 9 p.m. that corporate is putting on for us. Another great opportunity to plug your people in. If you have people that are looking to have a little bit more information, just simply send them the link through Messenger or do a watch party on your personal wall. It's a great way to have your audience involved in what you're doing with Plexus. And then on Tuesday night at 9 p.m. also we have our product information night. It's every Tuesday night where Plexus does a product information night. And you can find those on the event page of the Plexus Ambassador community. So if you go in there and just go under events, you will see those two things listed. So I think that's all that we have right now. I don't think we have anything else for training from corporate that I have seen anyways. If I do, I'll put it on the team page. But I'm going to let Julie take over. She's got a great topic, and it's a really important topic. And one that I think you guys will want to take notes on and really listen to the value of what she's going to give us, because they are valid points that are tried and true. And I just want to really thank you, Julie, for stepping up to do the training tonight. It's awesome to hear from you. So you take it away and do whatever you like.
Well, thank you very much, Krista. Appreciate it. And I always enjoy a good chat with people. And I'll try to be on my best behavior. And that means not talk too fast. So slow me down if I'm getting too fast and not go on and on and on and on. So I actually, to guide myself from talking too late, I have made a bit of a show here. So hopefully I can share screen and you can see what I have for you. And so there we go. So Krista said it's a really important topic, and it's kind of timely in that she just mentioned a few things. And my wonder for you would be, as she was mentioning those things, did you jot them down? Were they already in your calendar? And we're like really busy people, because typically it's the busy people that get things done, right? And there can be so much going on that it's really critical that we just develop a habit where we have a central place that we write these things down, because it is way too easy to miss out on a fabulous opportunity to build your business, because there are so many events that have been going on and that can happen in a short time frame. One of my number one keys to being successful is keep a calendar. And it doesn't matter to me whether it's digital or paper, on the wall, in your purse, doesn't matter. But you do need to keep a calendar, and events should be a number one feature on your calendar, because they really are a key element to building a strong business. And there are so many events in Plexus. It is not a matter of, oh, it's a business that has an event once a year, and if I miss out on that, I'm miss out on everything. It's the exact opposite. There are so many events, and I'm not just talking the big ones. I've just put on screen some of the bigger ones, the larger venues, or they are advertised for longer periods of time, or they're in a calendar. And this is often what comes to mind when people think of events. But the reality is that we have amazing events that are large and small and in between. And then there is the opportunity for you to create events as well. So I want you to broaden your concept of what you might think of when you think of an event tonight, as I share some tips with you, because the reality is, if you want to do this right, the event could be going to the coffee shop with your friend. So let's talk about why events might be an important part of your business. And actually, Plexus has already outlined this for us. They have outlined 4 big areas, and one is an inspiration piece. And for those of you who have attended events, it's really unusual for events not to include stories. Some events include product information, some don't. Some include, guest speakers and all these things, and some don't. what our events always have in common is that there are really impactful stories that are shared. And that is key because, as most of us know, the decision-making part of your brain is actually in your feeling part of the brain. It's not in the thinking part of your brain. You actually are going to react initially, and even your decisions are made in the part of the brain that is inspired by emotion. Not the part of the brain that's responsible for language. So that's really challenging for people like me because I could list 783 reasons you should try Plexus, and that goes in one ear and out the other ear of most people because we actually make decisions in the part of our brain responsible for our emotions. So hearing stories and seeing people or hearing about people that you may know is a really impactful way to inspire someone to think, hey, maybe this could be for me, or this could be for my friend, or this could be for my mom or my dad or my child or whomever. Another reason that events are really, really important is because they are belief builders. And it's interesting because Plexus points out here that it builds belief for your existing customers, your new ambassadors. I would argue it's bigger than that. It's for your potential customers, it's for your potential ambassadors, and it's for yourself. Belief building is something that is an ongoing critical part to your personal journey as a business builder, because we know, and many of us have experienced, that there are highs and lows in this business. And many of us come into it with belief that may not be hugely strong to begin with anyway, because you probably need to have a good experience yourself or be quite connected with someone with a really good experience to have a high belief to start with. But even if you do have a really strong belief coming right out of the gate, that has to be nurtured. You have to continuously be nurturing that belief because there are so many things that happen in the run of the day, in the run of the week, in the run of the month, in the run of the year that can eat away and cause doubt. That's in any facet of our life, right? So that would include our business building and belief about ourselves. So remember that there's 4 areas of belief that you build on when you're a business builder. So there's the belief in the product, the belief that there actually is value to supplementing or using skincare that has incredible benefits to your body. That's a belief that needs to be built. That was not a belief that I had before all of this. I was, like many of you know, it was the whole exercise and eat well and you're good, right? So I actually had to work a lot on my belief about the need for supplementation, right? So there's belief about product. There's belief about the company, okay? So you actually have to build belief in Plexus worldwide, and there are 468 reasons why you should. And many of you haven't experienced those yourself. So that's why, again, you reach and you build on the belief that others have, right? And talk to people who have visited corporate, that have been to large-scale events, that have had supper with Alec. Those types of things help build your belief in the company, as well as being exposed to how the company does business, right? Like even this whole April 6th to 14th thing about the giving back, like that's a real belief builder in the business. People who see that, oh my gosh, you're working with a company that is really working to give back, that's working with like Mary's Meals to actually feed hungry children. That's how you build belief in business, right? Then there is the belief of network marketing in general. Because if you've been in this for much long at all, you know that you're going to encounter people who do not have a belief about that, right? And whether they label it as a pyramid scheme or whether they see you as selling out because you're their friend and you shouldn't be expecting money for them, or all those ridiculous things that I myself at some point shared as well, you need to constantly be building your belief in network marketing, because that's one that's really going to get picked at quite a bit as you speak to more and more people and exposed to more and more people. And then the last area of belief that you always need to be working on is belief in self. And funnily enough, for the majority of us, that's the one that we really need to work on the most. Because when we experience failure, which in this kind of a gig could be as simple as a no, which actually is an integral part of building your business. You actually should be a no collector. But that no can dig away at that belief really fast. And all of a sudden that's eroding. So events are an opportunity to come together, experience community, be exposed to more examples of information about why the products are so amazing, exposure to things that create your like, holy cow, this company really, really is amazing for this and this reason. Training and understanding about network marketing, or exposure to the fact that all these things are happening for people, and belief in yourself. Those are all critical. And so events are an opportunity for you to build that in yourself, as well as potentials, customers, and ambassadors. This, you'll hear people over and over again, and a lot of those stories that I talked about that are heard at events, people will refer to the very unique and special culture of Plexus. This whole One Plexus thing really is unique. And you can talk about that to someone, but better yet is when you give them the opportunity to experience it. And events do a really, really great job for that. And then, of course, we're business builders, so it's an opportunity to increase your business. It's an opportunity to expose people to information or samples, or experience other people, and it's a business building tool. So those are really 4 areas of reasoning around why events are critically important. And you do need to make them a priority. I would strongly encourage you not only to calendar them, what's available, but even prioritize. What am I going to do to put myself out there in the run of this month to be sure that I've exposed myself to events, and to be sure that I'm exposing others to events. And even if once you get really cooking with gas, you're better at calendaring them, then you can be thinking about, how might I coordinate my reach outs to coordinate with an event. It's not unusual, and you will hear us, and you'll hear lots of people talking about, there's this event coming up, we got to get out there and reach out to people and tell them about it. And that is true. But it isn't only for the big ones, okay? So you can at any moment be thinking about, wow, there's this event coming up. What have I done to increase the number of conversations that I've had, or make a feature of the follow-up conversations that I'm having relative to be ready for that? And this is really clear now that Plexus has created this new system for us to make it even simpler. And if you look at the way that Plexus is encouraging us to build as a system, send, share, invite, events naturally fit with the invite phase. So you've sent them something, you've started the conversation, they've had a quick look at something or other. As a result of the conversation that came out of that, you followed up with what's really another share. It could have been a product, it could have been an opportunity, it could be an empowerment thing, it might have been a story, it might have been some product info, it might have been a video. And once you've done that, then you're ready for the invite phase. And this is where there is a natural fit for events, okay? And Plexus recognizes this. So in addition to setting up this wonderful system for us, which was released at Super Saturday, an event in the Plexus calendar, in addition to that, they created some very regular events for us. Krista just referred to a couple of them, okay? And this is very intentional. This is intentional planning and decision making by Plexus, okay? So it's not haphazard, and we need to be operating with intention as well. Rather than haphazardly be like, oh yeah, tomorrow's Monday, there's like an opportunity thing, I wonder whom I could invite. It should be more along the lines of, okay, that person that I followed up with last Tuesday, on what day should I mention that there's an event on Monday? That's operating with intention. So these scheduled weekly experiences, I would include with our events. Absolutely, these are events. So first of all, there are the opportunity calls. They come typically from the US. Those are the times that you're featured there. So tomorrow is Monday at 9 p.m. Atlantic. I know a lot of you on here Atlantic, but it's basically 8 p.m. Eastern. There will be an opportunity call. So that's an opportunity for someone to have an experience, much like those live opportunity meetings that you may have attended at one point. And again, you talk about the event, and I'll talk about that in a little bit, exactly how to do that. But you talk about the event, you can share the link with them. And Chris has also mentioned as well, this is a perfect opportunity to host a watch party on your site. So because these are Facebook Live events, we have the opportunity to share them out that way. And for those of you who haven't played with a watch party, it's a really neat thing to do, because if you watch as a watch party, you actually see on screen who comes up and who has popped into your watch party and how long they stay. And that can really create an opportunity for conversations. Oh, I noticed you popped into my watch party. What did you think? Or it may be someone that you haven't reached out to before. Hey, I noticed that you checked out my watch party for a few minutes. Have you heard of Plexus? I mean, it's just a really great opportunity to do that. So we have the Monday opportunity calls. We have the Tuesday product calls, okay? And those come out of the States, and they're at the same time, so that they're on Tuesday. And then also on Tuesday, we have Canada opportunity events. So you're not even restricted to having US content. We have the Canadian content on Tuesdays. It's at 9 Eastern, so it's a little bit later. It's 10 for we Atlantic folks. But this is a really great opportunity to share not only how great Plexus is, but actually Plexus in Canada. So, I mean, this is really great. Those are 3 events that are in your weekly calendar that you can be thinking about and planning for with intention as you're working your biz, okay? But this is just one way of creating an event. There are other events too, like opportunity events that might be live, okay? Most recently, the corporate ones that have gotten a lot of attention, of course, have been in Australia. So as a part of their launch, there was an opportunity tour in Australia. But every year, Plexus creates an opportunity tour. And we had great hits last year because of our launch in Canada. But even earlier this year, there were some at West. So that is a really great way to plug into a live event. And it doesn't have to be a corporate event. Oftentimes we host local events. And for example, Krista was doing something every 3rd week of the month, I believe, at the Best Western in Fredericton. We often have people that will have pop-up events. I know that Tanya's hosted now a couple or co-hosted a couple of those in the Moncton and Dieppe area. It doesn't even have to be a big thing, okay? It can be, let's rent a room and let's worry about a screen and a presentation, all that. Totally cool. Or it can be as simple as, let's get a table at a coffee shop with a few chairs and just sit and chat with people. So you can actually create an event without having to have a huge investment of time or energy or money to make it happen. It's just the chance to bring people together. It's a free opportunity for them to come in. Oftentimes we give them the opportunity to taste some pink drink, and they hear about the stories and maybe some product or maybe some experiences of people that have had with Plexus. And in some of the bigger ones, it's really exciting because then there's also swag and gifts, and that's always fun too. Or you can replicate the same thing that you just did in the coffee house. You can do it in your living room, right? Just bring some people together. And this can be because you're wanting to talk to people about Plexus, or it could be perhaps a really great event is when you have a new team member and you want to throw a little launch party. Oh my gosh, I don't know what's involved in a launch party. What does that mean? What do I have to do? It's just another sip and see. It's just that you're featuring them. So the guest list comes primarily from people from their network. That's all a launch party is. It's a way to celebrate, hey, this is a new person starting the Plexus biz, and we're going to rally around them and congratulate them. And you can even put that tone on it so that people aren't even feeling like they're feeling sold to. Hey, my friend Jen just started with Plexus, really would like to encourage her and get her excited about her new deal. Would you come by and pop by to congratulate her? And when you have these events, just giving it that tone of we're just rallying around people to encourage them, to support them, leave your wallet at home, those types of things can really make it a safe event for people to come to. And then when they come and they hear how wonderful it is, then oftentimes they just want in on it because it's so fantastic. And the reality is about events, the return on events is incredible. And so sometimes people will get really caught up in, I was hosting an event and I had invited 53 people and only 3 people showed up. Yeah, but how many of those people have you been able to continue a conversation with, or has been a customer become an ambassador? And the return rate is really, really high. Generally speaking, the people that come out to events tend to really up the ante on their willingness to try Plexus. So it's one of those numbers games where it's not about how many you get there. It's really about the quality time that you have with those in attendance and building in that relationship and investing in that. Now, we do have some really big events that you can calendar right from the beginning of the year. Super Saturday is the first or second Saturday in January. Critically important. So if you're new to Plexus, you're really going to watch out for Super Saturday. There are Super Saturdays that are hosted live in certain cities, but more recently we've always had the option for a live stream, and it's the kind of the launch of the year. It's when Plexus announces what the theme of the year is going to be, generally releases either new products or new tools, or sometimes both, generates a lot of excitement. It usually tells you about the incentives for early in the first quarter. It's a really, really, really great day. And again, in addition to all that information, you have the positivity and the excitement of being around other people. So when you can't attend live, then often you can watch the live stream, and it's even more fun to do when you gather a bunch and do it together in somebody's living room or somewhere together. Just a really, really important date. Convention is coming up soon, usually mid-June. It's a little bit later this year. This is a time to get together with 12,000 of your closest friends. Now, admittedly, I had downplayed convention for many years. Why? Because I hadn't been there. I didn't realize how incredible it was. So I actually got to attend convention last year for the first time. That's my wow. Like, it really is something. The energy is fantastic. It's not a vacation. I'll tell you that right out. It is boom, 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 boom. There's amazing training. There's tons of celebration. The recognition is top notch and one of the priorities. So we see a lot of recognition of people in their business building. You get to hear from some amazing speakers. Maybe you've seen a lineup for this year. Hello, Bob is speaking. Mel is speaking. Like, really, really great, important people. And just like, this is where you meet people from all over Plexus. And it was a really great opportunity for me to see the variety of people, like people from all kinds of different walks of life, different ages. You know, some were there with their families, some were there with their newborns, some were there with their partners, some were on their own. Like, it's just really, really, really interesting. But what you get out of it is an energy and a newly renewed commitment to, like, I can do this. That's the thing about events. Like, I leave every event with, like, okay, here I go. I'm on to the next phase. So that has a really big role to play as well. Diamond Destination is an amazing, super fancy trip for the diamonds, which then runs into the Emerald Extravaganza. And Chris is going to Hawaii again this year. So all the emeralds, that's one of the perks of the compensation plan, is that once you become a jewel as an emerald, not only do you get a lease on a vehicle, but you also get this trip to Hawaii. Wow. And these aren't just like little trips, right? They just are unbelievable. Treat you to, can't even imagine, you know, meals and accommodations and parties and treats and swag. And oh, it's amazing. It's amazing. Leaders Retreat is in the fall. And even though that might seem like a long time away, it's really not, because it's going to come up very, very soon. Right now, we are actually earning convention credits. So there are credits that you can earn towards convention. And a lot of people are like, well, you know, those credits are there, but I'm not attending convention, so they're not that important. That may be the case. Or maybe you're working really hard to earn your convention credits. Either way, that's going to wrap up at the end of this month. And starting June 1st, we're going to have that opportunity to earn credits, but this time it's for Leaders Retreat. And the credits for Leaders Retreat are even more important, because you must earn a certain number of credits in order to be invited to Leaders Retreat. So Super Saturdays for everyone. Convention is for everyone that wishes to and pays a registration. But the other things, the Diamond Destination, Emerald Extravaganzas, and Leaders Retreat are by invitation only. And you do that through earning credits. Last year, that was the cruise. So a lot of you heard or saw about Legacy, because Legacy was last year's theme. So we went on a cruise, and it was amazing. Leaders Retreat is a very, very, very special opportunity. And you rally your team around, and you work at it in terms of, let's put our heads together and let's see how many of us can get there. And I'm incredibly, incredibly proud of how many people work really hard. We've had really, really great show-ups from my team for Leaders Retreat in all the years that I've been in Plexus. So that's really, really, really exciting. And it's a very special trip. You most of your trip is paid for. You have to physically get there, but other than that, your accommodations and many of your meals for you and your guest are covered. There's swag, there's special opportunities, there's amazing training. It's really an incredible experience. So those are some really, really important events as well that function as incredible belief builders, as well as recognition, opportunity to meet others and celebrate. So whether you're talking big like this, or whether we're talking smaller, which are the opportunity meetings, the online meetings, or even as small as I invited a few of my friends, like one of our new ambassadors, Josette, invited a few friends to go to Starbucks yesterday with Tanya. Doesn't matter, small to very big, you need to get people to these events, okay? And what some people misunderstand is that they think if I put the poster of an event on my wall, I'm done. And that could not be further from the truth. I need you to remember how blasted we are with images on a daily basis. If you think that putting the poster or even a cute little nice post worded about an event that's coming up on your wall and you're like, there, I've invited people, you are going to be not only disappointed, but you're really not giving your business a chance to grow. The thing with events is that you need to do the personal invitation. So yes, absolutely, do the public things. I mean, if you're going to have something locally, like go old school. You can print flyers and post them up in the places around town that give you permission to do that. I mean, that's still a really strong mechanism for getting the word out. So is putting things on your wall. Even better than putting the poster on is doing that kind of inspirational, curiosity is perking people's curiosity. I'm up to something next Tuesday, something like that. Or even showing yourself at a, like, look at this was me and my friend Sam at the last one, or whatever, those types of things. But in addition to all that, you need to personally reach out and invite people. And the best way, like everything else, is this kind of phone. I know we like this kind of phone, guilty, but this kind of phone is the best. The personal connection says a lot. When someone hears you invite them, it says that you've made the time for them, that you really want them to be there. That is really the best thing. But even without picking up the phone and dialing to talk to them voice to voice, you need to personally invite people through messages, through emails, through phone calls, through messages on their machines, through little invitations maybe that you even want to do by hand. But it's not enough just to post it. You've got to reach out. So you have to have your list ready. And it can be people that you've talked to recently, or it may be older people. And again, if you would like 2 people to come to an event, probably you need to invite 40. That's just the reality. It's a numbers game. So oftentimes we've had events in the past, like, oh, how many people have you invited? And like, oh, I've invited 5 people. And I'm thinking, okay, that's great. But you need to invite 100. And that's not to undermine, I think it's great that you have faith in those 5 people, but the reality is that everybody's busy and chances are they may not be able to get there. Something's going to happen. They're going to have a sick kid. Who knows what's going to happen? You need to invite a lot of people. Many, 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 many. See? And, you can give yourself a target. Some of you need targets, so you can make the number. I'm going to invite 50 people. I'm going to invite 100 people. Or you can just be doing that thing every day, and every time you see a name, you're like, that's going to use a memory jogger. That reminds me of so-and-so and so-and-so and so-and-so and so-and-so and so-and-so. And your invitations don't have to be long-winded. Excuse me. Hey, Jean, how you doing? Hope you're having a great day. Listen, I thought of you today. There's this thing coming up. I would love for you to attend. What are you doing next Tuesday? Simple as that, right? And you can engage in this conversation. Think about that person before you craft that invitation. What are they most likely to be interested in, or what's going to get them to an event? Some of you may have done the profiles around people that are used in network marketing. It's the colors of network marketing. It's a little bit different than colors if you have done them like 10 years ago. But in a nutshell, you have people that are going to be attracted to information. We tend to call them greens, okay? They want a lot of details, they want a lot of information. So a person who wants information, in this invite, you're going to have to give them the details, and you're going to want to focus on, this is a great way to hear some information about our amazing products, or this is a great way to come and hear personal stories in detail that peer have experienced. That's what I would tell a green person. Now, a red person is interested in achievement, okay? So my invitation would be focused more on, this is a really significant event. We're going to have some great people who have a lot of success in their business. They're going to share their tips and tricks for how to be really successful yourself. Those types of things are going to attract those people. Our yellow people are the helpers of the world. They're very attracted to an opportunity to give back. I'd love for you to come to my event. It would be a great way for you to rally around the people who are working in their business of helping other people. Would you come and be a support person? And you can learn a little bit about plexus at the same time. That might be a way to appeal to a yellow. And then, of course, our blues. They like to party, and they just want to be around people. So it's simple. You don't even need to tell them what it's about. There's this thing going on. You got to be there. What are you doing on Tuesday? Right? That's what you do for your blue person. So think about who they are as a person, what kinds of things like them, what might attract them to being there. And that's what you message or talk about in your invite. You want to attract them. Sometimes it's just really hard for people to get places, or it's easier to forget. So we up the ante. I'm going, I'd love for you to come with me. Why don't I pick you up and we'll go grab a bite to eat before the meeting? Or why don't I pick you up and we can have a glass of wine after the meeting? Or why don't I pick you up and we can play our favorite music and sing at the top of our lungs with our kids not being there in the van on the way to the meeting, whatever. But you can offer to add that personal touch if it's a local event. Now, this is harder, of course, if it's not a local event. But if there are people hosting an event at West, we do this for our partners all the time, right? And we hook them into someone who's going to be there. So, oh, my friend, Nicole is going to be at that event in Ontario. So I'll tell her you're going to come, and she'll keep an eye out for you. And I would hope that Nicole would do the same, that if there was somebody down here that was coming to an event locally, that Nicole would say, hey, I need to hook you up with my friend Julie. She's going to be there and she'll welcome you with open arms, right? Like, that's how you do it. So if you can't physically help them to get there, let's reach out to our One Plexus pals and help make that happen. Now, you follow up after the event. It can be right on site if it's an event that you're together. It could be the message right after the end of the live opportunity meeting if it was an online meeting. And it's just really simple. Hey, so you checked out the event. What did you love best? It's a very positive, open-ended question for them to focus on. Well, what did I like about that, right? I avoid what did you think, because sadly in our day and age, when we tend to do that, we tend to go right to the critical, and for a lot of people, the negative comes first. So if you just tweak your question a bit so that it's to the positive, what did you love best? Then that can help you continue the conversation. So like I said, you can do that right on site. We had a lot of guests at Super Saturday, and I saw and heard those conversations happening right at the tables around where our teammates were. It's fantastic. Sometimes, like I said, if they were going to watch the live event tomorrow night, you would watch the live event. As soon as it was done, tap away the message. So what'd you like best about that? And that's how you continue to follow up. And just because someone doesn't become a customer or an ambassador like 5 minutes after an event is over, that doesn't mean that event didn't have an impact. I can almost guarantee that an event does have an impact, in fact. It's just that sometimes we have to be patient because that impact may not be right away. And one of the things I should have mentioned earlier, and I'm going to say it now, is that an event is also a third-party tool. Okay. And a third-party tool, sometimes people get caught up in this. Oh, what's a third-party tool? Does that count as a third-party tool? Which third-party tool should I use? This is what a third-party tool is. Information or experience that was not just you. That's all third-party means. So even your very best friend or your dearest sibling or even your mother, it's great when they hear things from you, but the reality is it's you, okay? And although that has a positive side to it, it also has but I wonder what other people think is hidden there in the back of the mind. So it's always important. And even if you're 5, 6 years in, it doesn't matter. You never outgrow that need to have that, after you've given a little bit of information or start a conversation, that bringing in of someone or something else to support the conversation. That's what we mean by a third-party tool, right? And even though I've been in this biz, running the biz for, almost 4 years now, I still need to bring in third party. And that can be through a 3-way chat or a 3-way phone call. But events are a really great third party tool because people get to see and hear from someone other than you that supports your excitement and your love and your passion for the business. So events are like a really great 3-party tool. So in a nutshell, that is why events are so critical to your business, and a little bit about how many different events can be. And my most important, I think, takeaway that I'd like you to go away with is, no matter what it is or what kind it is, you've got to have that personal invitation if you actually expect people to come out. It's not going to be enough just to put it on your wall and then be disappointed when people aren't there. So it's a relationship business. Keep building that relationship.
That was awesome. Thank you so much. The teacher in you really comes out. And I love it. I love the diversification on our team because we get so many different, teachers and leaders helping us to train. And that's what One Plexus is all about, right? It's about helping each other and inspiring each other. I loved what you said about inspire, build belief, positive relationships, and enrollment and sales. And that's why we have events. And this is an event too, because we all come together. You get re-inspired. You see your friends on here, your social media friends that you probably don't know, like on a day-to-day basis outside of on social media that you've met through Plexus. But when you leave here, you feel connected to each other. And that's so important to take away from events. I'll just share what one ambassador said at our meeting or at our sale that we had today over the weekend. She left and she was just like on cloud 9 after leaving the women's show because she had been invigorated again, right? So it inspired her again. Even being together, working side by side, it built that relationship again. And so it's just building belief, inspiring. And that's what events do no matter what event you're doing. Even if you are a single person going for a coffee shop date, I can guarantee probably when you leave that coffee shop date, you're going to be like, wow, I did that. Like, like that felt so good to connect one-on-one instead of behind a computer screen. So events are so important. And all those points that you gave, Julie, are just really just on spot because so often we do just put it out on social media and hope that 10 people show up for us without even saying anything other than posting a flyer up or something, when really we need to do that one-on-one and get the commitment and then commit ourselves to actually, like Julie said, going to get the person or making a date with them for before or after. And that way we're not disappointed that we don't have anybody actually show up who said they were going to show up. I think we've all had that happen before. 5 minutes before, they're like, oh, I'm sorry, I can't come. The dog puked on the floor or something. Something crazy happens. But usually if they know you're going to go and pick them up, they're going to make that commitment. A good friend of mine, she used to be in Mary Kay and now she's in Plexus. And she said that when she first joined Mary Kay, they were big on parties and events and socializing and getting together and all of that. And the community was so strong. And she said that she was supposed to go to her first meeting. And at the last minute, she thought, I'm not feeling it. I'm going to cancel out. And so she called her friend and she said, I'm not going to go to the meeting. And her friend said, oh my goodness, I had a seat reserved for you. And she's like, you had a seat reserved for me? And she's like, yes, I had a seat with your name on it. And so she said, oh, I am so sorry. Okay, I'll go, And it was just the way of this lady just, kind of coaxing her to get there. And that night she ended up signing up because she loved it. But she said the only reason why I went was because I felt bad that she had a seat reserved for me. So sometimes it's just our wording and, it's just getting people in the seat because we know that once they hear, they're going to love what we have and we have such an awesome product for them and opportunities. So it's just getting people out to these events. So I just want to say thank you again, Julie. It was a great, great training. And does anybody have any questions at all? If you want to unmic yourself and ask any questions, that would be great. Anything? No? Everybody's cool? Okay, I'm going to challenge you guys to do a meeting this week. Either get to one, send a link to one that you've actually told them you're going to send a link and would they watch it, or try and get a coffee shop date together with somebody. Get face-to-face somewheres with somebody. I've been doing them over Zoom even lately because I've been working with some people away. So Zoom has been really very valuable for me. And that's not my normal nature. Like I was the one to hide behind the computer screen. So by getting out, it speeds it up a lot faster, and people become a little bit more vulnerable to you when you can actually look them in the eye and have compassion when they're telling you their stories, and have empathy, and then they feel more connected to you to actually share what's happening in their life. And you just might make somebody's day. So I really encourage you to have at least one meeting this week where you get together with somebody and use some of the skills that Julie put out there to help make that happen. So, okay, I'll unmute everybody and you can all say good night. Yeah.
I just want to say thank you. That was wonderful. And thank you, Judy. I took a lot of notes.
Yeah.
Glad to hear it was helpful. You're very welcome.
Thanks, Julie.
Thank you so much, Julie. Have a good week, everybody.
Bye.
Thanks, Julie.
Night,
Night, night, Sarah.
night, Sarah.
She's our little mascot.
Exactly. Bye. Good night, everybody.
See you, Sarah and Nicole. See you, everybody.